Does Fight Club still pack a punch? With its iconic twists, unforgettable characters, and deep themes about identity and consumerism, we're diving into whether this cult classic still lives up to the hype, or if it's just a product of its time. Let's break it down. Fight Club, directed by David Fincher and based on Chuck Palahniuk's novel, hit theaters in 1999 and quickly became one of the most talked-about films of its era. With a star-studded cast led by Edward Norton, Brad Pitt, and Helena Bonham Carter, it made an immediate impact. But does the film still carry the same weight today? When Fight Club was first released, it was polarizing. Audiences either loved it or hated it. At the time, many criticized it for being nihilistic and anti-establishment. The film's themes of consumerism, masculinity, and self-destruction made it feel like a rebellious manifesto, speaking to the frustrations of Generation X. However, over time it has grown into a cult classic, revered for its darkly comedic and subversive take on society. One of the reasons Fight Club has remained so relevant is its critique of consumer culture. The unnamed narrator, played by Edward Norton, is an office worker stuck in the monotony of his corporate job. He's miserable, isolated, and struggling to find meaning in his life. The film doesn't just touch on his dissatisfaction with his career, but digs into the deeper issue of how society's obsession with materialism defines people's worth. Tyler Durden, played by Brad Pitt, represents the antithesis of this life. He's charismatic, anarchistic, and free-spirited. His philosophy is all about rejecting the superficial trappings of society, embracing chaos, and living life to its fullest. Tyler's radical ideas, which start as a critique of modern life, eventually spiral into something far darker. He builds the infamous Fight Club as a way to reclaim control over a world that seems to have stripped away individuality. But as the story unfolds, we see how his philosophy, while seemingly liberating, leads to violent consequences. The film's exploration of toxic masculinity also plays a crucial role in why Fight Club still resonates. At its core, the movie is about two men trying to define their identity in a world that limits their emotional and personal growth. The Fight Club, and later Project Mayhem, serve as an extreme means of proving their masculinity and asserting dominance. For many viewers, the film is an unsettling reflection of society's unrealistic expectations of men, especially in a time when discussions about toxic masculinity and mental health were less common. The performances in Fight Club are another reason why the film remains iconic. Edward Norton delivers a compelling and layered performance as the unnamed narrator, showcasing his character's descent into madness as he gets caught in Tyler's world. The chemistry between Norton and Brad Pitt is electric. Pitt's portrayal of Tyler is one for the ages, blending charm with menace in a way that makes him one of the most memorable movie characters of the late 90s. The supporting cast, including Helena Bonham Carter as Marla Singer, adds further depth to the film, bringing their characters' flaws and complexities to life in a way that makes them unforgettable. Visually, Fight Club is a masterpiece. David Fincher's direction is hauntingly beautiful, using darkness, shadows, and sharp editing to reflect the chaotic world the narrator is trapped in. The cinematography, combined with the film's gritty aesthetic, enhances the film's nihilistic mood. Fincher's use of surreal imagery, such as the iconic scenes with soap, the exploding buildings, and the fight sequences, all serve to heighten the movie's themes of destruction and rebirth. The film's look is both visceral and stylish, and it has stood the test of time as one of the most distinct visuals in cinema. The twist at the end of Fight Club is arguably one of the most famous in film history, and it's one of the key reasons people still talk about the movie today. Without giving away too much for those who haven't seen it, the film's reveal challenges the audience's understanding of everything that has happened up until that point. The twist is executed perfectly, adding layers of complexity to the characters and forcing viewers to reconsider everything they thought they knew about the film's narrative. Now, when it comes to the question of whether Fight Club still lives up to the hype today, the answer is nuanced. On one hand, the film's themes and its critique of consumer culture and masculinity are just as relevant now as they were in the late 90s. In an age of increasing anxiety and mental health awareness, the film's portrayal of personal dissatisfaction, depression, and the need for catharsis feels particularly timely. However, on the other hand, the film's portrayal of violence and its glorification of chaos have been subjects of intense debate. Some argue that Fight Club romanticizes destructive behavior and gives an unrealistic view of masculinity. The film in many ways celebrates rebellion and disruption, and while it critiques societal norms, it also portrays violent retaliation as a way to reclaim agency. In today's climate, where violence and toxic behavior are often condemned, this aspect of the film may feel a little outdated or problematic. Despite these criticisms, Fight Club remains an undeniable cinematic experience. Its dark humor, sharp dialogue, and bold social commentary make it a unique film that continues to spark conversations. The way it challenges expectations and questions societal values ensures that it continues to have a place in pop culture. It is a movie that has been quoted, parodied, and referenced countless times, proof of its lasting impact. In conclusion, Fight Club is a film that is both timeless and very much a product of its time. It speaks to the frustrations and disillusionment of an era, while also capturing universal themes about identity, consumerism, and the search for meaning. The movie's twists, characters, and visual style have secured it a permanent place in the lexicon of cult classics. Whether or not it lives up to the hype is ultimately a personal judgment, but one thing is clear. It's a film that continues to challenge, entertain, and leave an impression. What do you think? Does Fight Club still pack the punch it did when it first hit theaters, or has its time passed? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more movie reviews and deep dives into your favorite films.